Did your son have kids?
Huh?
Your son had kids? Did your son have kids?
No,
Oh, okay.
he was only 18. But let me not say that because I had a child at 14. Let me stop.
What's some of the feedback that you've been getting from radio show? Cause I told you surpassed 12,000 again, so.
And we live on IG. Make sure you download Plug Radio app to listen fully to us. This is just behind the scenes. We got a special guest in the studio today. If you want to join the conversation, you can call in at 561-444-9569. Hey Jay, what's up, cousin? Today's topic is, are our children safe? So you don't have to be a parent to join this conversation because we all have loved ones that we're concerned about. And so I look forward to hearing from you guys today.
Mike?
All right.
Here you go.
Hey, Rashida. Hey, Braylon.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. What it is, it's your boy DJ Melly Mel live on Plug Radio. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the world famous, nationally syndicated, might I add, Simona Says Real Women Still Exist, and they do. I've been told to say, and they do part. I don't know if it makes me sound sassy or not, but we're going to go with it. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I'm your host, the one with the most, DJ Melly Mel, but I'm really not the host. I just say I'm the host, but the real host that sits to the left of me is a beautiful woman, might I add. She got me to go to church, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about that.
Well, it was a 3-month process, but God be the glory.
It was a process. But I'm here with the wonderful, beautiful Simona Falana, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey. Oh, you on point today.
You see that?
I ain't have to tell you.
No. See, I get it naturally. And as always, I'm joined by the Astain, the straight no chaser, the Don Fulio, the real one. The Dundadas in the building, ladies. Straight no chaser. and we have a special guest in the building. And I wish you guys could have been here before the show started, because we were having some really good conversations. And I was salty, not just because of light skin, but just because I love a good testimony. Because I always tell people, before anything good happens in life, something has to happen to you.
Yes, Lord.
Because then you wouldn't be a testimony or a soundboard for somebody else.
True.
Nobody wants to hear that person that says, I live the perfect life and I'm rich.
Okay, thank you.
I like when you show
Wow.
like you started off
Yeah, I probably won't. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But today's topic is a good one, and we're gonna jump right on into it today here on the Plug Radio Network. And today is episode number 12.
Yeah.
So that's 2.5 months worth of hard work from you ladies, and I just want to say that I am extremely blessed to be a part of this.
Thank you.
I'm honored that you picked me as your producer. Not like you had a lot of options, but hey, we just gonna roll with that one.
roll with it.
Okay. And today's show topic is, are our children safe?
Yes.
Now, first and foremost, before we get into the actual details of today's show, I have to ask, how was everybody's 4th of July?
Great.
Good.
I had a fantastic 4th. You was
hot.
outside. That's why.
I was.
You was outside. You was at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You was
My
itching.
wig was slipping.
I'm
Not the wig slipping.
I'm done. No, what about you, Mel?
Well, me, I don't really celebrate holidays like that too often because I'm always really working, or I just don't celebrate them. But I did get a chance to spend time with my dad. I play
Aw.
cards with him. You know, he getting old now, so
Stop telling that man this.
so he don't go out too much. So we know I played cards with him. You know, I just hang with the family, drunk some champagne, and just that was it. Went to go see my mom, and that was the day.
Hey,
That was
sometimes that's
good.
all you need.
That's all you need. And for me, that's basic, but it's everything
It's
to me.
enough.
Yeah.
I was
It's
telling
enough.
this girl I've been talking to the last couple of weeks. I said, you know, my love language is quality time.
Oh, you been studying love.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look
Uh,
at you. I can't wait to tell her the good dog. I hope you listen.
Yeah. And this one, I can't wait to tell you about the commercial, you know, but
Oh.
yeah.
Oh Lord, you got.
Because she actually listened to the show last week.
Oh.
Yeah. Look
Okay.
at that, right?
Mm.
She just want to know where I was. That's all that was.
You can't be serious. Never.
But no, we are joined in the studio with the beautiful, elegant, articulate, makeup connoisseur. Because I'm going to say it because, ladies, if you can see the makeup right now.
Pronounce it properly.
Look.
Drop the bombs.
No, I gotta give myself the round of applause. Oh,
You
wait.
practiced that?
Yes. So I was on point for that one. Now I know I'm going to butcher her name though. I ain't even lie to you. I'm gonna just say the first one, Claudia.
Claudine.
Claudine. See,
no
Oh
bad
my
in that.
God. Not Claudia.
see,
Ain't no bad in that. We
I
know
gotta
what's
take my
coming.
props back.
I told you I was gonna butcher it. Claudia.
Claudine.
Claudine. I can't even. I don't even want to be able to pronounce the last name, but AKA the Glam Rocks.
Glam Rocks.
I like that.
Glam rocks.
And today's episode is personal, and we are excited to have someone who's going to speak and share their wisdom and their grace on various topics on today's show. You know, on this show, we talk a lot about, you know, a lot of different variety of topics, but, you know, there comes that time and a place where we do talk about something serious. You know, we laugh and we joke, and everybody know me, I take nothing serious, right?
Oh.
Because I feel like in life, the only way to get through things is by laughter.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I'm in a depressive state, I go watch comedy because it's hard to be mad while watching comedy. It's extremely difficult. And so that's what I choose to do. And we're going to talk about, you know, are our children safe? You know, even if you don't have children, or maybe you have a nephew or niece or someone that's young of age that's close to you, and you maybe want to be concerned about that individual or have friends, just anybody that's a part of your culture, your family tree. We want to talk about, you know, the culture and the state of our kids, man, because I tell anybody, you know, these kids are different. I'm
These
scared
kids
of
these days is different.
I'm scared of this generation. I tell you no lie, I was in a situation where I was getting into an argument with somebody who was, you know, 19 years old at a basketball game. And I'm not aggressive. I'm 5'7" though, but you know,
Not 5'7".
you know, I got the short man syndrome for real. So when I felt like I'm being disrespected, I said, "Hey man, look, man, like for real, you gonna tighten up?" And he looked at me and said, "Dude, I'm 19 years old. Tighten up for real."
Oh wow.
I said, "Yes, sir. You good? You got that?"
Oh,
Because I don't know what his intention
Right.
is.
Exactly.
Especially at 19.
Especially at 19. And our last show, you know, we addressed the culture has changed. Not just fashion and social media, but the safety too.
Yes, Lord.
And according to the CDC, in 2022, firearm injuries were the leading cause of death among children and teenagers between the ages of 1 and 19 years old.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy that we live in a world where Louisiana just passed a law that says 18-year-olds can now carry concealed weapons with no training
Yeah.
and
Wow.
no license.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And,
crazy.
and this number is steady rising. And today we're gonna, you know, dissect and discuss how we can contribute to that decrease in their numbers. You know, we recently just had a shooting in our community that took the life of a 15-year-old
Wow.
young man.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you follow the Simona Says Radio Show on IG and the Simona Says Show on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We're everywhere now, people.
Yes.
So make sure you go follow for more updates and information. And I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may get yelled at later. We might be giving away tickets to a concert or two. What's one of Janet Jackson's songs?
We gonna talk
Anytime,
about
any place.
Yeah, anytime, any place.
Wait. It's a ticket to the Janet Jackson concert.
ready.
And then you know, country grammar, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we, you know,
I'm done.
Yeah.
We got wait till we go on break.
that part.
Cause how you drop that like that?
I mean,
Wait till we go
Listen,
on
he
break.
dropped the bomb on us.
Look.
Listen, that's what I do.
Mm.
That's what I do. You know, might as well just go ahead and just like that. But yes, please make sure you go there for all the behind the scenes actions and updates. on the Simona Says Radio Show. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into it. We have a guest here. I'm gonna butcher this name. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Claudine, not Claudine.
I'm just gonna pronounce the one that I can read. Glam Rocks, Miss Glam
Glam
Rocks.
All right, we'll take that.
I'll take Glam Rocks.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing better today.
You look great.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, beautiful.
I wish they would
I
have
need
told
that
me.
lip combo.
Oh, you need a lip combo? Girl, I got you.
I wish they would have told me how to cut my hair, to put on something decent. I feel underdressed in here
We've been
right now.
telling
You
you
look
for the past
fine.
few shows
You
to
did.
show up.
You did. I was tired last night. I barely made it here. I left that club at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
See?
Lord. Not you leaving the club at 3 a.m.
I had to
Oh,
work.
the day Monday. He went to church on Sunday and the club Sunday.
He went to
We
church
still
service
working
and
on
then
him,
to the club.
y'all. We still working on him.
You can't make this up. But for some people who may not know you, I want to get into your background about what you do for a living, some of the businesses that you operate in, and just kind of get to know and
Tell us
reach
your
you to our
story.
audience.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Claudine Escarment. I am of Haitian descent.
Okay.
I am better known as Glam Rocks. I've been born and raised in Low Haiti. I've been a makeup artist now for about 10 years. I started out doing hair, but now I am a makeup artist. I'm also a YouTuber, and I influence a little bit.
Okay.
So that is who I am. I thank you guys for having me on the show today, because I would love to talk about losing my son last year and about how the culture has changed in regards to gun violence.
Yes.
So thank you for having me.
Thank you for
Thank you for doing
accepting. Thank you. It's not an easy topic. When I first got the idea for this topic, I was telling everybody I was in the grocery store and I was watching two parents hide from their 5-year-old daughter. And I was like, what is going on? And they looked at me and it was like, she doesn't know we're missing. And in my mind, I'm like, I look down the aisle and she's like all into this iPad. She doesn't know her parents have left her. And they're looking there. It's funny because it's like, oh my goodness. But then at the same time, they're like, we're concerned because she doesn't even realize, or is she aware that she's
Right.
alone?
Right.
And so in my mind, it's like, how many children are actively in this state where your parents walk off, they're not paying attention to you, you're not paying attention to them.
Right.
And let alone just outside of that, how many times do we have children leave home that don't ever come back?
There's a lot of missing brown and black
Yes.
children
Yeah,
in
I've
this
seen
world.
a lot on social media lately.
It's a lot.
Yes.
And as a black community, there's not a milk carton like how there is at Walmart on the wall.
Mhm.
We gotta actively, if I see it come down my timeline on social media, I just repost it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they are.
Exactly.
Correct. So I felt like this was a topic that we should discuss. We have a very good following that is very heart forward. And I say they're heart forward because they're passionate about almost everything that we talk about.
Mhm.
And we need to discuss our children because they're our youth. They're next in line. And
Absolutely.
it's a big concern, especially with what happened recently around in our area.
Right. And I kind of want to bring the topic in with something, because one thing that Simona has done for me, and I'm gonna put this out there publicly, she has taught me to be more vigilant.
Oh, really?
Yes. And to be more open and transparent in a more positive way. And when she mentioned this, she knows I've been battling with this. I lost a brother a year ago, almost to the
wow.
day, right? And we share the exact same birthday.
My
So our birthday is Friday,
condolences.
and I don't know how to handle that. I really,
Oh,
really don't.
wow.
Wow.
Right? In the last year, I visited his grave once, and that was on the anniversary of his death.
Mhm.
Just because everybody grieves differently.
Mhm.
And I had a question, or I had posed this statement when we talked about this topic was, I remember getting that phone call. You talked about it. It's like you can just replay the moment.
Yeah.
I was standing right there in my lobby, walking out the door, and I got this phone call. And immediately I just dropped down to my knees.
Wow.
Wow.
And, now you're trying to find out what hospital and all these different things. You jump in a car, we go through 3 or 4 different hospitals until we finally find them.
Mhm.
And then there they are working on him. CPR, but he was DOA before he even got there.
Wow.
And so, for me, I know I cried that night, drunk myself to sleep, probably the most unhealthy amount of alcohol I've ever consumed in one night, right? And you say to yourself, as a friend, losing a brother
Mhm.
is tough. I can only imagine what it's like to lose a mother or a father.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And even worse, I can only imagine what it's like for a mother or father to lose their kid because no
Yes.
parent should bury their child.
I agree.
My dad tells me that all the time. Whenever I go do something stupid, he say, "You know, no father wants to bury their child, but I will collect life insurance."
No parent should bury a child.
It's crazy you say that. So I've had in my family, I've seen parents bury children, and I remember my uncle's grief, and he would go to the grave often, and he would say, "Nobody understands my pain. There's nothing like the loss of a child."
I don't feel like anybody can relate to me unless you have lost a child.
Right.
Also, I feel that you can encourage me, tell me that you empathize with
Right.
me.
Yes.
But to say I understand, you don't understand.
And even if they have lost a child, I think everyone's connection to their children is always going to be different. Of
Right.
course,
Yeah.
you're a mother and you love your children, but for someone to say, "Yeah, I understand because I've been in those shoes. I lost my daughter, my son, or whatever the case may be," but to say I feel the exact same way, I think is totally different.
And it's different when you know someone has an ailment and they're kind of
Mhm.
sick. I got to knock on the door from my neighbor.
Oh wow.
And she didn't speak any English, my neighbor. She just knocked on my door. She's like, "Mommy, come, come." I'm barefooted. My neighbor goes running up the street. I go running up the street behind my neighbor. I have two sons, my smaller kids running behind me. I don't know where I'm running to. She's like, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." And she's trying to tell me, I didn't know that my son's body was up the street from my house.
How did you process that?
I couldn't process.
Wow.
I just kept running.
Ooh.
I just kept running barefooted. I didn't until the soles of my feet was burning me. I realized I had no shoes on.
Wow.
I had no shoes on, and I'm just trying to just run to my son. You already know I'm a prayer warrior. In my head, my son is well known for doing the tricks on the scooters, for doing the tricks on the bikes, the wheelies.
Mm-hmm.
Them kids you be seeing on 95 and the turnpike on the bikes. My son was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I know he gets on your nerves, but I always used to be like, "Dre, be careful with the cars. Dre, be careful with this." You know, that whole night, even when I got to the scene and I saw the fire truck hosing down my son's blood, I thought my son was hit by a car.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's not until the detective got to my house the next, because he came, I was just a mess. They're thinking about Bakerectomy me. It's so much. I'm breaking stuff in the house. They're trying to hold me down. And I guess that when the detective got there, I saw him, but he couldn't tell me the details. So he came back the next day, and I'm just laying on the floor. I refuse to shower. I refuse to eat. And that's when I found out the next day that my son was shot while riding his scooter to the basketball court because it was a drive-by shooting.
So it wasn't even intended for him.
It wasn't intended for him. And to this day, it's like, oh, he was at the wrong place. How was my son at the wrong place at the wrong time? Riding a scooter to a basketball court.
Yeah.
You know, all he was
Kids
doing
do.
was something that children do.
Yeah.
You think I want to hear that?
How did that change you?
Oh, it devastated me. I'm totally a different Claudine. I'm totally a different person right now. I don't process life the same anymore. Every moment to me is precious now. The little time that I have with my kids, like I don't even want to work that much. I just feel like I want to soak up everything about my family, my friends, my time. I want to live. Like a lot of stuff that I was scared to do. Like I travel a lot, but I'm still scared of planes. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get on. I gotta be fearless.
Oh, wow.
Like Keandre, my son was fearless. Listen, that boy would climb the highest tree. That he would do anything. Always breaking a bone, a rib, something. He was always in the cast because he's just adventurous. He's the word I said at the funerals. My son was fearless, and now I'm trying to live fearless.
So he inspired you.
My son inspired me.
That's beautiful.
He
That
did.
is really
So
beautiful.
when you said that you were running, he wasn't there on the
The
scene?
ambulance had already taken him, but I'm thinking he's hit by a car, and I'm trying to go pray with him.
Got you.
By the time I got to the scene, that was the fire truck coming to hose down his blood.
That's crazy. And did it replay? Does it still replay in your head?
It replays in my mind all the time. all the time. And this is not funny, but I guess this is a cliche thing we say all the time. The funny thing is, he played basketball with these officers because this is a POW program. After school, he plays basketball. He does boxing. So this is what the officer told me. When one of the rescue guys got to the scene, he was like, "Oh, it's Trey.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's Trey." My son was very popular. He played every sport, and he played basketball with them, and he did boxing with them. But I heard they worked so hard on him.
I believe it.
They worked very hard on him, but this is where he took it. So they severed my son's artery.
Wow.
Was it just one shot or?
It was several because it was a drive-by.
Oh, okay.
You it just brought back to my head. I remember when I was a teenager, my brother got shot. Like, that's something it's not at the forefront because it's happened so long ago. But I remember my brother got shot 14 times.
My God.
14 times. And I remember, just like you said, when you get that phone call,
That's
I remember getting that phone call and it was like everything stood still. Everything stood still. And when I got to the hospital, I told my mom, everybody needs to come inside and we're going to pray. Because the doctor had came out, and he was just like, we've done all we could do. It's only up to him.
14 shots.
He's still alive.
And he's still alive?
Baby,
That is
walking
God's
miracle.
grace. No, that's God's grace. When
Yes.
God say it is not your time,
Yes.
it's not your time.
And I just remember, like, just the little steps to get into the hospital. Because I remember the call, getting to the hospital, praying at the hospital, and him just resting. And that was just like, I don't remember nothing else that happened that day. I think I was at Old Navy working a sale. That's it. But outside of that, I can't recall. But getting that phone call, that's one of the most devastating phone calls.
And that's where he can remember where he was standing and what he was doing.
It's weird.
Yes.
And that was almost a year ago, but you can remember word for word down to the phone calls.
Yes. And so I definitely, I can't say I'm in your shoes because I don't have children, but I just remember we're teenagers. Like, we were young. Like, that happened
Trying
when
to
I was
live
like
life.
16. Yeah. And so just thinking about that impacted me as a 16-year-old. I remember, I think I was 17 because I was getting ready to go off to college. I remember I said, I don't think I want to leave. And it was just like, nah, baby, you going. Ain't nothing
here for you.
But it traumatized you to a place because it's like, are you safe? Like, where are you safe?
Are we safe?
Yeah, are we safe? Like, we have one of our dedicated viewers, Jackie, in the comments, and basically she said kids are not safe, unfortunately, and it's because of social media. What do you guys think about that?
No, I think you're really, really right because, I was watching something, actually, believe it or not, on social media, and there was a gentleman who just passed away to a terrible car accident. He was a football player, 21, 22 years old. And there's a guy who's a social media influencer, went on social media, and he says the most inhumane thing ever. When people pass away, I don't send my condolences. I don't really care because honestly, your problem is your problem.
Oh,
He said that?
Oh, wow.
Quote unquote. He says, man, and then on top of that guy that y'all referring to, the guy that y'all want me to send my prayers to, he was a bad kid. He lost 6 jobs. He got kicked out of 4 universities before he made it to the league. And it's just everything was negative. And I can remember sitting there saying to myself, that's the problem with social media. It gives everybody a platform to spread this false information.
Everybody have a mic now.
Everybody. And what you fail to realize is, yes, you can look at it from that perspective, but the glass is not always half empty, it's half full. So yes, he did get kicked out of 4 universities. Yes, he did lose a job. Yes, he was working at Old Navy before he went to the NFL. But guess what? He matured as a man. He understood his wrongdoings. And yes, he may not have been the perfect teammate, but he was able to overcome all those adversities. That could be a testimony.
Yes.
That could be how I overcame what, was put in front of me at an early age and still was successful. So you have a better chance. I mean, and so that's, to answer your question, being that everybody has access to social media, being that everybody has a platform, I think that's really what's poisoning the minds of our generation and our kids today.
I think I was talking to Don earlier today, and what came to my mind as I thought about the shooting that happened at Wawa, it was, I remember when we were 15, baby, if I had a problem with somebody, we finna have his head up face.
We finna fight.
Outside, we finna fight.
And it was
at the bus stop.
What makes a child think?
I gotta
Because
grab a gun.
I got to have a gun.
I
That's
gotta grab a gun.
I gotta grab a gun. They don't think, oh, let me go fight.
And walk into a store.
And it's
shoot
not a
somebody.
regular handgun that these kids have.
They got some things I ain't got.
No.
They got some ARs. They got war guns
Yes. That's
on our
crazy.
streets. They don't know how to shoot these guns.
Show don't.
They actually do.
Well,
But what I'm
like,
what I'm saying is, like, listen,
yes.
if y'all gonna have these war guns, y'all might as well just go on and go
Endless.
and go and list.
Yeah. Go get you some money behind it
You
because
can't hit your target right.
Right.
And then you're trying to hit a target for stupid stuff. Oh, he looked at me. Or he did.
That's what gets
That's
me
the
every
big-
time.
that's the big
Social
thing.
media influenced a lot of this thing. And as parents, we don't always have control over what, well, I know I put controls on, but still, you think my 14-year-old still cannot see certain things that I possibly don't want him to see? And a lot of this school stuff, they have to go on the computer
Mhm.
to do a lot of research and stuff. Something may come down his timeline. So social media has changed. Us growing up, you guys are young. I'm sure I'm the oldest one here, but you
You don't
guys,
look it, girl. You
I'm about to say, don't look.
but think about when you guys were in elementary, in middle school, and stuff like that. You met your friends at the corner at school. You was excited to go to school.
But Donna tell you I couldn't pass the stop sign.
Oh, you can. But now every kid, I don't care. From the time they come out the womb, they could be 8-9 months. They're so attracted to this thing called a phone. They're so attracted. They don't learn the ABCs the same no more. They don't know how to pronunciate things anymore. And they're so much. They're so okay. What's the little something corner? The little kid
Gracie's Corner?
Gracie's Corner. I think that's very addictive for some kids. I just think there should be a limit.
What's Gracie's Corner?
It's a children's show for little kids.
Oh,
But some kids are so addicted to it, their parents could put their favorite meal in front of them.
And
They don't care about it.
But I'm gonna give you this. So a few weeks ago, I was at my cousin's house and she was watching our little cousin, and she was playing Roblox. And I don't know nothing about this game. And so she says to us, "Y'all want some money?" And so we like, "Yeah, sure." I'm watching her play this game.
Mhm.
It's funny, but it's not funny. And she goes in to rob a bank. She's 5. She was on that game like she was playing Set It Off. I thought I was.
So wait,
watching
you could
that.
rob a bank in Roblox?
Yes, like she went in.
See?
You can blow up the safe, and she was like, "Y'all need some more money? I'm robbing the bank." And she's 5, and I'm like, and she was just like,
So do you think some of like Roblox, how she asked you that question to go rob, do you think so some of the kids decide like, oh, I can do what I
Yes,
play, I
yeah.
can do it in real
yes,
life?
because they're at a young age where they're impressionable.
Mm.
And so you give them this game where they're not even processing that this is bad. Like she could tell me it's bad, but in her mind, this is just a game.
And it's quick money.
Correct. And so at some point, when will she internalize, hey, you shouldn't be playing, but she can't.
I remember, even though it's fictional, I remember watching a Law and Order episode of a kid that came in. I don't know if they shot up a school or something, and it was all influenced by a video game.
Yeah.
And the Dr. Wong was saying how games will brainwash children into believing it's reality,
Mhm.
and then they end up going out into reality and practicing,
Wow.
quote unquote, what they play on the video games, thinking that the consequences would only be you get another life, you get another shot, you get another
Ooh.
turn,
right.
not necessarily understanding like that's the
There's
end of the road for you.
consequences.
you.
Yeah. You're going to jail.
That's crazy.
And I want to move over to our next topic before we cut to a quick commercial break, because one of the things that the audience wanted to know is how do you, or what advice do you give to somebody who is coping? Now, everybody has a different way of coping with things. And me personally, I would love to know, because I think this is kind of the notorious question whenever you have a loved one who's lost to gun violence.
Mhm.
As a mother, do you think you'll ever find it to yourself to forgive that shooter?
Let me walk this slow because I feel like I might cry right now.
Take your time.
I was contacted the day after I buried my son, which is Mother's Day, by Tangela Sears, who is the founder of Florida Parents for Murdered Children.
Mhm.
And she said, can I talk to you? I was like, lady, I don't want to talk to you right now. But I called her back because I didn't know she started this organization for parents who have lost children. While doing all this to help parents like me, even though I was new into this, she lost her son while helping parents who has lost children to gun violence. So she started telling me things about how she did it, how it was a shock. You know how you're numb, how you shock and everything. And I just started therapy because I kept telling my insurance I wanted a Black person. They kept forcing, no problem, but white people or Hispanic people, and I wanted a Black woman or male therapist because I feel that you understand what's going on in our community.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm in therapy, but I pay for myself because the insurance just doesn't want to give me a Black person. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I just had a crying session this morning. This is just makeup, and this is just Claudine showing up for social media.
Mhm.
I can't cope. I just get up every day and just try to make it. I have debilitating days to where I won't eat, I won't shower, I won't talk, I am mute. Walking by my house, by my son's room for 8 months, I did not open that door. His dirty laundry is there. His clothes that he just changed to go to the basketball court is still on his bed. It's debilitating. I can't, everybody copes and grieves differently. I'm just trying to show up for myself. I can't be a mother to my other kids some days because I can't even be Claudine for Claudine.
Right.
I'm talking to you guys now about God's strength.
Your grace is beautiful.
Thank you. I just want a parent that has lost a child to know that I understand. I've been there, and I know I kind of feel guilty some days when I'm okay.
You just hit me home right there.
I deal with, I don't know if they want to call it imposter. I don't know what you want to call it. But some days when I'm just happy, when I'm okay, I feel bad for being okay. I feel bad for being okay. And some days I can't process it. And I miss Dre so much. And it's just hard trying to cope every day. Every day I'm a different person. I found YouTube. I found the community. It kind of helps me not have so many more down days. But I can't answer your question because coping is different. Coping is different every day. I think the last part of what you said is, I would tell you, get with people who allows you to vent without saying a suggestion. Some days I just call my friend and I just vent. I just talk about him and she says nothing. She just allows me to get it out. And I just try to show up for myself every day. I just try to show up for other parents because we can't stay down. We still gotta live. But I'm in active trauma therapy, so I'm trying to cope right now with, I'm a child of God. I go to church. I can still pray for other people, but how can God show up for me if I don't forgive who killed my son? And I know there was 3 people in that car. If I don't forgive him, God, how is God gonna fight? I gotta remove it out of my hands and give it to God. That's the only way this person's gonna be caught, so they don't do it again. Because I don't want another parent to feel what I feel, another brother, another sister, a family, a friend. I don't want nobody to go through this, and I'm sorry. I'm working actively, God, to put this in God's hands and forgive who killed my son, because there's nothing I can do to him. But when God put his hands on them, it's totally different.
And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking more with Miss Claudine.
Claudine.
I got to get this together. The glam rock herself, okay? Right here on Plug Radio. Let's go.
Let me go get you some tissue. We gonna take a real break. We gonna come back
Yeah,
to
it's
part
some-
2 behind the scenes because baby, we in that.
We're taking a break. Hi, Glam Squad. How y'all doing out here? I thank you for y'all being on here. Oh,
Girl, you had
Listen, before that, I was sitting here like, this could only be God, because I just be like, people lose you like that.
thank you.
Ain't no way I feel like I can move on.
Or forgive that person.
Or forgive that person.
But you just hit me home or something because
I'm in a season of vulnerability, and you said you feel guilty because they'll tell you. I was still coming to the radio station going to see my mom, and I kept going because I knew she wanted me to see her. And it feels that way. So, thank you so much. I really appreciate. Oh, girl. Thank you. Let me get one of these, because, girl, I didn't even realize that was going to happen.
I said I wasn't gonna do it.
This is
I was
so
really strong.
good.
I wasn't gonna do it. I can't.
I hope y'all enjoying it. Oh, God.
Like, I shouldn't be feeling good. Like, my son in the grave.
Yeah.
I'm over here with a smile on my face. Like,
And I can't show up for people how I used to. Like,
That was
oh,
right
this,
there.
I can't show up. I'm a totally different person. I'm a totally
how are your
different person.
children coping?
I have them in therapy.
Okay.
My 14-year-old son is wearing my 18-year-old son who passed away clothes, and his therapist told me that's just his way of coping. But his way of coping is hard for me because it's like when you put on Dre's jersey,
See that?
I see Dre. So every day is a different day. I don't know how, I can't tell you how it's gonna be. And some days when I'm okay, I feel guilty.
Yes.
In our community, this, as black women is strong. I don't want to be strong.
Don't I say that all the
I
time?
want to be vulnerable.
Get up and move on.
No, I can't get up and move on house. No, I'm not strong. I'm just coping.
Yeah.
I'm just getting up every day and trying to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving. This thing of thinking that therapy is for crazy people, therapy, you can't vent to all family and friends. You need therapy. Let me tell you how therapy has been working for me. I'm thinking I'm going there just to deal with Dre's death, right? This lady's walking me from 10 years old when my mom passed away, when she was unalive.
Those therapists, they be coming out the woodwork, be
Like,
oh,
man,
but
but
told you in my right.
Mona,
Look,
I have
like,
realized
no.
the things that I've been going through from 10 years old has affected the person I married, the person I dated in college, how I saw life. We all need therapy. I don't care if you say, oh, there's nothing going on in my life. We all need therapy.
When I came back to the military, I got into therapy.
Oh, you went to the military? Oh, you need a therapist. You know it's hard to date men from the military. Let me not even go there. I'm gonna open a can of worms.
And you know the crazy part is, I didn't even get deployed to battle. But just the thing that you have to experience and you see in the military, and it's like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe I just saw
what they're
that.
preparing you for, because they mentally change your mindset.
The people that I had to rely on, this guy who is a white man that doesn't like black people, that takes his medication, his pain meds, curses them up and snorts up his nose. But I have to
Your
rely
life
on
is in
him.
him.
That he has my back in the field. And then I got hurt when I was in the military, so that made it even more worse. And it just, I came home, they tried to put me on the crazy pills.
Not you came home, they tried to put you on the
I ain't
crazy.
doing that.
Listen, I can't even take the anxiety medication they gave
No,
me
I
because
can't do it.
it's debilitating. Like, it puts you in a trance, like
Like a
And it
matrix.
gives you feelings that you really
no, you're way too numb.
Yeah.
You're way, and you could feel it. Like, you ask me a
Not
question,
clear.
and I'm like, oh, in my head, it's like, okay, she's saying hi, but how do I say hi? I don't know. You're just very, I don't like
And
that.
I think when they start putting you on those kind of medications, it will make you believe that something is wrong with you and you need it.
You're absolutely correct. I think outside of therapy, having someone that you can vent to is amazing.
Somebody that don't know you, that have no opinion about you, somebody
And
that
just
don't
be
know where
like,
you're from,
if you want to talk for 30 minutes, it's fine.
that they get paid.
And she corrects me. She changes my mind about things like, oh, I'm gonna do. No, she said, no, you're doing. She say you're doing.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
But what's interesting that I noticed is that when you talk about your son, you talk about him in present tense, not past. Because when you were talking about, oh, he plays this, he does this, then most people would be like, he used to do this and he used to do that.
You know, for the first time on Thursday, it's been 14 months since he passed. I think it's 14 months. I dreamt him. I dreamt him on the same scooter he passed away on. He came to me. He was like, Mom, somebody stole the handles off of my scooter. And you know, I'm Mama Bear. In real life, I would have did this. I was like, who took your handlebar?
Yeah.
I said, come and show me who. Listen, I'm 5'2", but when it comes to my kids, I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3". But he knew his mama, no matter what was going on, I'll never go get my mama.
I think it's the way how you coach them. So you still process.
I'm still
I
processing.
tell Don and I tell people all the time, like, I feel like my mom is still here. I don't feel like she's gone until it hits me that I don't have that.
And you can't call her, you can't go see her. It's life changing. Is our break almost over?
Yeah, we ready to come back in.
All right, Glam Squad. This is the second segment of the radio interview. I think you guys, there's just no way I can help someone if I'm not going to be transparent. All right.
And we are back live on the Plug Radio Network with your boy DJ Bellamy. This is another episode of the world famous nationally syndicated Simona Says Real Women Still Exist, and they do. I'm still looking for one. I ain't got one, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
I hope she's listening.
I hope she's listening.
Tread lightly.
I'm joined by the host, Simona Falana, the beautiful co-host, The Real Dondada. And I got my special guest in the building. And she is the founder of the Glam Squad. I've been hearing that.
Yes, the Glam Squad is my community on YouTube.
I love that.
Not y'all getting shout out on the radio.
You see it.
Also, she has a foundation. Tell us about your foundation.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Producing. But yes, you know, I thought first and foremost, you know, I'm big on community work. Mm-hmm. And that's something that me and Simona have talked about, you know, since she started her radio show is, you know, I told her, listen, I don't mind being a part of a radio show, but we have to impact our community.
Right.
We have to give back. We have to invest in people who will be the future business leaders of America, decision makers. We just, you know, knock on wood, but we just got a new partnership with the largest nonprofit in the state of Florida. And people are going to figure out who that is just because it's only one. And, you know, they brought kids to the radio station and they're going to bring them for 5 days. And we're going to give them trades and traits and certifications in radio and help prepare them so that they can still make money while they're in high school.
That's amazing. Awesome.
That's doing the Lord's work.
Giving back.
If
That's
you take
amazing.
care of old people and children, your life will be much longer.
That's the Bible says that.
I'm trying to see.
He read this much.
And look, he's a scholar.
But I read. That's the point that matters. Okay. What? So you know when she mentioned that you started a foundation after going through your traumatic experience, you know, for me that hit home. Because I've been sitting here, you know, since the interview started, how I can better assist you. And you know, she does have an announcement. So you want to go ahead and give the announcement?
We're going to, Simona Says on behalf of Plug Radio would like to contribute to your foundation. So we're going to send you a donation.
Thank you so
Well, we
much.
Because we find it not robbery that you came because we know A, this is not an easy topic. B, you came all the way from Miami. And C, you just graced us with your presence.
Right.
Thank you
we
so
want to
much.
pour back into you. So
Thank you.
And I'm going to add something on top of that. She doesn't even know this. And I had to make a phone call to make sure this is okay. We're going to go ahead and make you a sponsor for the radio station.
All
And
right.
promote the nonprofit for the next 30 to 45 days.
Oh, okay.
And we want to try to help you impact this community here in West Palm Beach, because you have a story
Yes.
that, is touching.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're going to talk about what that looks like a little bit when we get off radio, and how we can better assist you, because I always tell people, if I can go support the club, I can support things that, will help impact our community.
My
Amen.
God.
And so, so that's our gift to you, and what you've done. But we, for the people who may not know, what is your foundation? What does it entail? And what do you do?
Okay, so my foundation it's a nonprofit foundation. It's called Keandre's Bike Foundation. I started it 5 months after my son passed away, because he was a lover of bikes, a lover of scooters and everything. Even when he passed away, they was like, "Oh, Dre showed me how to pop a wheelie," and everything. I wanted to give back to the community. I don't know if either of you guys have ever owned a brand new bike when you was a kid. And you thought you was the hottest thing on the block, right? You kept riding up and down the street, right? Okay. So I wanted to start this foundation to give bikes and scooters to underprivileged kids. I also gave some bikes away to some kids that was doing good, that went to Saturday school before they graduated. I partnered up with Carroll City Elementary in Miami-Dade. But I live in Broward County in West Park. But I want Keandre's Bike Foundation to be everywhere. I thank you for sponsoring me, and I thank you guys for your donation. With the axing I did, I got 13 bikes last year, and I was able to give it to different kids in foster care. The kids in foster care was oh my God. Yes, Lord. They were looking like, thank you. So I give away bikes and scooters to underprivileged kids who are doing good in school and things like that. You can give at Keandre's Bike FDN on Cash App. Keandre's Bike FDN. So our second annual bike giveaway will be this December in Broward County. And I would love, and I thank you guys for your sponsorship. I thank you guys for your donation. And that's what it is. Keandre's Bike Foundation gives back to the community, to underprivileged kids, bikes and scooters. So I would love to see that smile. Even though I'm hurting, I love to see the smile on kids' face, because some parents do need that help to make their kids happy, because we all don't have it.
Right. Yes. Can you spell Kia? The cash?
Yes, it's KYANDRES Bike BIKE FDN. So money sign Keandre's Bike FDN. I abbreviated foundation.
And while they collect that information, I want to say something too. Prior to my toxicness, I used to want to be. I used to really want to be in leadership groups, right?
Uh-huh.
And when I moved to North Carolina, I viewed it as like one of the most troubling times in my life, because I was getting a lot of trouble. But my mom, she moved me away, because she said, "Listen, in North Carolina, no one knows who you are.
Nope.
No one has a preconceived notion about you. You can start fresh."
Right.
And she made me get into this leadership group. And one of the things that Miss Campbell did for me, and I'll never forget it, she said, "God didn't bless you for you. God blessed you so you can be a blessing to
Come
other
on,
people."
D.
Wow.
Come on.
Right?
Okay, Bishop.
And that has stuck with me for like life. And one of the things that I did was, and it just reminded me when you said shelter, every year I do a community service project during Christmas, because it got cold in the winter, like it actually snowed. I did something called the Shoebox Project.
Okay.
I would have a bunch of my friends donate a bunch of empty shoeboxes. Everybody had Jordans, right? And you take those shoeboxes, you decorate them, you fill them with toiletries, female care products, canned goods, whatever, jerseys, all kind of different things. And we would take these boxes and we would take them to the shelter.
That's
beautiful.
That's amazing.
And there was this one kid, and I fell out of touch with him. I'm mad about myself about that, but his house had just got burned down. So him, his brother, and his mom were living in a shelter, and they had nothing. And I had brought him some shoes, some jerseys, some food, and he just started busting out in tears, right? I'm like, "Why are you crying? He said, "Man, my house just burned down. I don't even have a pair of underwear to change into."
My God.
So you don't know how much this means to me. I can go take a bath. I can change my clothes. And every year I said I would do that project just for that kid. Because there's so many kids that, they go through life and you don't really know what someone goes through.
You don't.
And those kids didn't ask to be in that situation, because a kid comes into this world knowing nothing.
Knowing nothing.
And so everything that happens to them at an early age, it's mostly because of their parents, you know, and sometimes parents just can't provide like how they want to,
Right.
or life just lives.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do things like that for the community, for me, it's touching and heartwarming. So I just applaud you for that, and I think that'd be the event that we go ahead and sponsor and get behind and push and promote,
Thank
so we
you.
can try to get as many bikes as we can.
Yeah.
That'd
I'll
be
tell
awesome.
anybody, if you want to, you don't have to be a religious person, but if you want to feel good about yourself, serve.
Mm.
I don't care what capacity, serve. Go to the food bank, help an old lady cut a grass.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be money.
Correct. It makes you feel good.
It does make you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Just serve. God put us on here. It's not just for us. Like the wealth He gives us, the peace He gives us, the things He gives us. It could be a word. You could be going through the McDonald's drive-thru and somebody has an attitude. You don't know what she's going through. Like, hey girl, you look cute. Like, I'm always giving people compliments.
Mhm.
And you know, it's just to see how that person looked at so
absolutely.
mean. It's like, girl, I love your lashes on up. You don't know. Just serve. A kind word, a kind gesture. Just showing up for 30 minutes. Just show up.
And I have a question for the group before we get into the individual segments. Is, you know, how can we protect our youth?
Mm. You want to? This was what I was going to say. I was reminded today when I was 12 years old. I wrote a poem called "We Are Endangered."
Ooh.
And I looked for the poem in my phone. I have it. I'll probably post it later for you guys. But I remember at 14, I ain't gonna tell y'all how long ago that was, but at 14, having the
It's younger than me.
having the thought in my mind that there was something going on amongst young people that was making us die out.
Mm.
That we weren't surviving. And I remember my grandmother, even as I got older, she would say, you know, the young people are dying quicker than the old people.
It's
Mhm.
true.
And so when we look at the state that we're in, I don't know if we have a direct answer for that. And it almost brings me back to last week's segment when we talked about when people are addicted.
Mhm.
If they don't want to be saved, it's very hard to save them.
Yes.
And I feel like until our young people are more vigilant and aware that there is a problem, we can't save them.
You know, I'm curious because when we talk about protecting the youth, you know how when you were coming up, you had people that you could look up to and idolize.
Yes.
Whether it was Martin, Malcolm, or if you go up even further, it was the Panthers. Like you could remember to somebody in your childhood, you say, "Hey, I want to be like." You know who I wanted to be like as a kid?
Who?
Denzel Washington.
Not Denzel.
Denzel. Training Day.
Training
Jay.
Day.
For me, that was
Okay, I give you
everything.
that.
As an actor, right? But how he carried himself.
Right.
He always said, "Listen, you'll never catch me in the club when the lights on. I'm gonna come long enough to enjoy and I'm leaving." You don't see him in the world doing anything scandalous. LeBron James, with no education, no father in his life, is a billionaire that loves his wife, that supports his kids, that's active.
Right.
Those were my role models. These kids haven't been young ones.
These kids don't have
Nobody.
a role model. And listen, I don't want people to say it's just rap music. Rap music was around when we were born.
Correct.
Mhm.
Okay, rap music been around. Okay, the 60s and 70s disco time. It's social media that
Mhm.
has influenced and impacted our children.
Mhm.
So when you ask, are our children safe? No, they're not safe. Because as a parent, you can raise your child, you can instill the good things. You can give your child everything that you know that they will need to survive in this world. There's no neighborhood that's considered a safe neighborhood. Okay, you pay higher taxes, you live in a mansion. That does not mean your child cannot get harmed.
Right.
The only thing we can literally do, our kids are not safe. The only thing we can literally do is pray and cover our kids and hope they make it back home.
Ooh. That's a word in itself, baby.
New role models is how we protect our youth, I believe.
Yeah, but the role models that we have now, not to say there's not good role models. And then you got women. The bad bee doesn't even want to be a bad bee because she live a hard life. She may be driving a nice car, but she live a hard life. And she look like it. You understand? And then we got the men that feel, oh, I want to be like my favorite rapper. He talking about choppers. He's talking about this. And you have a mother that works so hard and like, son, you could do this. You could get your basketball scholarship.
Everything else.
Nah, I want to be popular. I want to be like my favorite rapper. So at the end of the day, your parenting and the social media influence, and we were not influenced how back in the days how the kids are being influenced right now.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
So Don, I'm curious. Now, this is the part of the segment, and it's one of our favorite parts of the show, where we have our individual segments where we get to reminisce about the good old days, right? So Don, before we get into the Mills perspective and the Simona Says for the day, what was something Mom Dukes did not play?
Can I switch it up a little bit?
Oh,
Go ahead. I like when you switch it up.
remix.
Just on this whole topic and how everything went today, I just wanted to give a quote that the good doctor gave me like a week ago.
Okay.
And because I was texting her and I was just telling her that I really love her resilience, how she deals with situations. And she texted me and she said, I understand that tests and trials are not always for you. They are testimonies for others. If I can help someone suffer well, then God will be glorified.
My God.
And
I want to meet the good doctor.
No, you definitely want to be the good doctor.
You have to.
And I said, it is amazing how you wake up every day with a smile on your face and you have no idea how much she has to endure, how much she has to deal with. And she makes it look like it's nothing.
My God.
And she said that, hey, maybe I'm helping somebody else. They're going through worse than me.
Yeah.
And I just think about the situation. I remember once my mom telling me about one of her friends where all of her children died.
Oof. And
we talking about one where that's tough, but she had a friend where all of her children died. So that means it's just you. Every child that she birthed has passed away, and it's like, I'm over here grieving over one, and you done lost 3 or 4.
My God.
Lord.
Jesus.
Somebody's always worse off.
Oh yeah, always.
When we wake up, I always say this prayer in the mornings before I go live on YouTube. I pray for my community before we go into the gossip, right? Listen, you're going to get some Jesus, and then we're going to talk about love and marriage husband. Okay? So one of the things I always say, God, I send you out to the NICUs, the CCUs, the ICUs, God, the ALS, the nursing homes, those in the hospice. You don't only pray for yourself and your children, you pray for other people too. Because she's beautiful. And that lace is laid. Girl, that lace is laid on your head.
Coming out from the floor.
But she may be going through something, a heartbreak or something, an ailment, God forbid, or anything like that. But a word you say may encourage her. Because she spoke to the good doctor. Listen, she quoting that because it did something to her spirit, right? So we need to connect with people that does not just drain us and take from us, but actually fill back up our spirit. He remembered something. What was the teacher's name?
Miss Campbell.
Look, that whatever Miss Campbell said to him stuck with him, and it's gonna be with him till God rings his bell.
2013. I never forget.
Look at that, 2013. So we have to be intentional when we walk this thing called life. Because life is, like you said, life is gonna life. Every day is not gonna be a good day, Simone, and I know you're grieving, right? Yes. But when you have to cry, you let them tears fall because it will cleanse your soul. And you know what? Get up, wash your face, and continue on with this radio show. Yeah, I don't know how you guys are on this radio. What a blessing you guys are to people.
Thank you.
So every day, just show up and be intentional. One word that you say to that quote you said to somebody else on the street, say it to somebody else in the driveway, say it to somebody else that you pull up to. You think they're going to forget? They're not going to forget that. And that seed that you planted will keep on going.
It was warranted. I could just...
Thank you for that.
Thank
you. And, my little sister tells me all the time, she said, you don't know the impact that you're having. And we ask Nell every week, Don's like, what's our numbers? And it's not, we don't want to know our numbers because we're looking for popularity. We want to know our numbers so we can know that we're making an impact. Because it's not by circumstance that we even got into this. All of this was designed by God. And everything that we've been doing thus far has been blessed.
My God.
And so for our numbers to be steady in the double digits, and we only been 2.5 months in,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're 12 episodes in. So everything has
One of the highest
definitely.
streaming radio shows on Plug Radio now.
There it is.
Hey. And so for all of that to happen, we know that we're ministering to people.
My God.
That's what this is. This is not just gossip or us just talking. Every time Don comes in and tell us, look, they love that last topic, and that excites me because that just lets me know that we're talking about what is pulling heartstrings. I had a friend tell me, thank you so much for doing a certain topic, because some things people aren't talking about. This is a topic. When the last time you went on YouTube or you heard a radio show covering, violence with our youth? And if they're covering it, it's a gossip or just a news clip it. We're actually going to the heartstrings, deep diving, because we all need to heal.
Yes.
And things like this help us heal.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I don't know how I followed it. I really don't.
She did
But
that.
I'm going to try my best here. And this is a male's perspective. I've been treating this part of the segment like a preacher of the pulpit. Really. I don't.
It's coming.
I don't want it to be scripted. I want it to be something that's genuine, that comes from the heart. And I had one half of it already done. And as I was sitting here listening to your testimony, it kind of added something on. So today's male's perspective to the youth out there from a man's perspective. Understand what your why is, and remember, it cannot be about the money. Your nonprofit will be successful. You want to know why it will be successful? Because you're not doing it for the money. Mm-hmm. You're not doing it for the fame. You're not doing it for the clout. You have a real story. You have something that resonates with you, because at the end of the day, you went through something traumatic that no one can ever really understand unless they truly went through it. And you're able to remember him. You're able to keep his legacy on this earth because of what you're doing. And you may be the difference maker in a kid, because he may be riding a bike versus a scooter and may be able to get away. That's how deep this is for me.
My God.
So understand what your why is, and remember, it can't be about money. But here's the second part to that. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. The courage to change things that I cannot change.
Yes, Lord.
But most importantly, the wisdom to know the difference between the two. Too many times in life, we decide we want to try to change situations, but we don't understand that God don't want you to change that.
My God.
You have to know the difference between something that you can and cannot change. Because while you over here worried about something that's never going to change, while something that's never going to go away, you may be missing your blessing that's over here. So this woman,
preach your word, Bishop,
of that right there.
Yes.
I almost feel selfish for feeling the way that I feel about a brother. And here you are with a smile on your face. Makeup just laid. I told you I was underdressed for the occasion. And you come here and you're able to shed and give hope and life and inspire to people. So you've clearly understood that, hey, I cannot change this situation. God has given me the courage to understand that. But moving forward, what can I do to change?
Yes.
How can I keep his legacy? How can I keep his name relevant in today's society? And I would be an idiot to not support that. I think we
Thank you
would
so
be,
much.
I don't want to use idiot because for y'all, but we would be unreasonable not to say, hey, let's get behind that.
Yes.
So God grant me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, the courage to change things that I can, but most importantly, the wisdom to know the difference between the two.
All right, good old pastor.
Oh,
Let the church say, yeah.
Amen.
Look, and Simona says got to come behind that.
It's a good episode. We got to set the bar. It's a good episode. So as we wind down, as we get down to the end of the show, this is now something for us to reflect on from a woman's perspective, where when we decided to do this show, we wanted to let the young women out there know, listen, it's okay to dress but be classy.
Yes.
It's okay to carry yourself a different way. It's okay to get with the man, but date and get to know them.
Yes.
I got no cat to give.
Hey.
And what you realize is if you don't give it up, you stick around, it means he truly loves you. That's somebody you want to be with.
Yes.
So as we get ready to impute some more knowledge onto these young ladies, Simona, what does Simona say to the upcoming youth and any woman out there that may be listening to this message?
My first thing I want to say is to the mothers, to the parents, is to anybody actually. Love until you can't love anymore.
My God.
I think sometimes we forget that life is precious and life can be short. And we get so caught up in the small things. I literally text my cousins earlier. I said, I can't sweat the little things. Because when you sweat the little things, you lose focus on the big.
Mm-hmm.
My next thing to the youth is take a minute to step back and enjoy life.
Right.
I think about, look, when we was teenagers, a time was had.
A time
we
was had
didn't
when we
have
was
no
teenagers.
phones.
The best times of my life.
Enjoy yourselves while you can, because baby, when them bills start, they do not.
Life.
Like being outside.
Yes.
That
So-
was the real outside.
Real.
So that's what I would say. And then lastly, the crazy part is all day today, this theme has been going with me. And you reminded me of that theme and I wrote it down. And I said, I'm in a season of vulnerability and grace. And it's not truly easy, but learning to die to flesh is never easy. And to be humble is letting people see your Clark Kent. I show up as Superwoman every day.
Show up.
And like you said, some days I don't want to be strong. Some days I don't want to show up. And I just want to be Clark Kent. I want to be regular, smuggler, Degler, Simona.
Mhm.
I don't want to be Superwoman, Simona. I just want to be me. However, I had to realize that that is my anointing on my life.
Ooh.
And that when people tell me that they see, like they give me the compliment, oh, you're so strong. It's not insulting. I use it as they see the God in me.
My God.
And I'm thankful that they see the God in me. And so as we celebrate 12 episodes in,
Yay.
as we celebrate our show being in the double digits, as we celebrate having beautiful guests and just understanding that grace is needed, we're going to take a grace break, you guys. And so with us taking a grace break, we want you guys to follow Simona Says on all platforms, IG, Facebook, YouTube, where you can catch up on all the past episodes because we got some fresh ones coming back for you in August. So we'll see you back in August.
Amen. And with that being said, this is another episode of the world famous nationally syndicated Simona Says radio show live on the Plug Radio Network. Want to give a special shout out to all of our beautiful sponsors: Bel Air Body Armor, UV Sports Energy Drain, Colin Richards Attorney at Law, Two Brothers Mobile Auto Repair Service, and all the other future sponsors out there. Old Boys Barbecue, Spike It How I Like It in 1205 Hookah. Stay tuned for more information on all upcoming shows on the radio show. This week, we got the sports edition of Sports Talk Radio tomorrow with Cap Baller and the real Melly Mel. But also stay tuned for this Thursday for another episode of Keeping It 100 with comedian host Dr. Foolish, Eddie Green, and the beautiful humanitarian Liz Taylor. This is Plug Radio. Make sure you stay tuned for the mix. Gotta go.
Amazing.
That was amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing.
That was
Thank
amazing.
you so much. I hope your drive is well worth it.
Thank you. Listen, I'll take this hour drive anytime for y'all.
We got to get you with the good doctor. You would have loved her.
Yes, I want to meet the good doctor.
Oh, baby.
And y'all gonna be inviting me to the events in Miami, West Palm Beach.
You know, I come thug it down there. You know.
Yeah, I know you be coming down to Miami.
I used to live in Miami Gardens
You used to live in Miami
with
Gardens?
my grandparents, so that works.
All right. But whenever y'all down there,
I went to Andover.
you went to Andover. Well, I'm a Rocket, baby.
Central?
Central Rockets. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
I know some people on the ask, I want to hear that one.
I can hear your mama now.
Thank you, Glam Squad, for being on here for today. We all know that today Kiki was laid to rest. So I do want to tell you guys to please keep her children and her spouse in prayer. So we will be live 7:30 tomorrow. All my Glam Squad, again, 7:30 Eastern time. I will be live and we're going to get into it. But for today, I just wanted to come live to show you guys this live radio show. And what else? Okay, I'll talk to you guys more about the foundation. Remember, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. also, we have Grown Woman Talks. And tomorrow we're going to get into some real conversations about women, okay? So see you tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. for our morning show. And at 7:30 p.m., for the members. So thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:30. Bye, Glam Squad.
Baby, you gotta hook me up with all that right